We are here with Halley Quillinan Griggs, an alumni of the Syracuse University Women's Lacrosse Program and a letter winner of distinction honoree, one of the highest honors that Syracuse athletics gives to its former student athletes. Griggs, formerly known as Quillinan while in the Cuse uniform, made history as the first full-time All-American in program history, and since graduation, she's continued to leave her mark in broadcasting, coaching, business, and mentoring the next generation of athletes. Today, we'll talk about her journey and hear how Syracuse has shaped her into the leader she is today. Halley, welcome. How are you today?
Thank you so much for having me. Good. We're excited to get up to Syracuse tomorrow.
Oh my God, exciting. Okay, so let's start where it all started with you. What made you choose Syracuse and the women's lacrosse program here?
I grew up not too far from Syracuse. I grew up in the Albany area, and playing at the collegiate level was just a lifelong goal of mine since I picked up a stick. And playing at Syracuse wearing orange was just a dream come true. I feel like in high school when I was in the recruiting process, there was this slogan, it was Syracuse was New York's college team. It was just a dream to be able to reunite with my high school teammate, Katie Rowan, and wear orange and compete for conference and national championships.
What is one Syracuse memory? It could be on or off the field that has made you smile.
My freshman year, I don't know. I think when you go in as a freshman, you are just bright-eyed to the whole college experience. And we won the Big East Championship that year. So it was thrilling. It was so exciting. I believe it was the first time that there actually was a Big East Championship tournament, and not just an automatic bid. But, to be able to do that alongside my teammates, to celebrate that win together. And then we got an automatic bid into the tournament, which meant we headed down to Nashville. So we played Vanderbilt the first round of the NCAA tournament. We secured our program's first ever NCAA tournament win that year. We just had a blast. We were making history. I don't think we knew how special and unique that journey was together. And it really just, I feel like it put that taste in my class's mouth. We wanted more each and every year to come. But yeah, I think that like postseason experience my freshman year just makes me smile.
You were the first four-time All-American in program history. What kind of mindset did Syracuse instill in you to kind of reach that level of success?
And I just look back and I think the coaches I played for there were all so just incredibly different, I would say. And like the lessons honed in under Lisa Miller versus Gary Gee alongside Maggie Cook. John Tomino was my high school coach, and then my college coach. I had the opportunity to play for Reggie for just a semester. They taught every lesson you need to know in life. This game is just, it's the gift that keeps on giving to me and my family and in my life, through lacrosse, especially honed in under those coaches and playing at Syracuse. You learn hard work, dedication, how to be a good teammate, how to be a good friend. You learn that even when tough times come knocking, you've endured defeat before. You've learned to get back up on your feet. You learn how to embrace the hard and battle through it. I think that that's something that's been I've really leaned on recently. When you're in the thick of it and you're playing a college sport, it's easy to get caught up in the excitement of putting that jersey on and getting ready for game day, and working towards a common goal alongside your friends. But after you graduate and after you're no longer, you know, lining up alongside your teammates and I think just the lessons that I learned there, how that program built me and shaped me, I'll be forever grateful for.
How's your experience prepared you for post graduation life in the real world?
What I really learned and just the trajectory that my career took and has taken, is if you're passionate about something, you can make it your life. And that doesn't mean playing that sport professionally. Upon graduation, I was working in New York City in PR and marketing, and I was freelancing for Inside the Cross. I'm forever grateful for Danielle Bernstein giving me that opportunity, because I felt like it was just this one thing in my life that I kept coming back to how much I love lacrosse and how much I wanted to make it my full-time job. And at the time, there was no professional women's lacrosse. And I was fortunate enough to accept a full-time position at Inside the Cross. and really make it my mission. I felt like in college, IL Women was a destination where you could go and get a little bit of coverage about women's lacrosse, and certainly compared to what was out there for the men's game. So I wanted to make it my mission to take IL and IL Women, where Danielle Bernstein kind of started it all. It was her baby. I wanted to take it from where it was and grow it as much as I could. Create a destination where women's fans could go and devour everything women's lacrosse, stories, stats, features. We launched the social media channels there. And then, of course, that opened doors. It was a dream come true. John Vasallo opened a door for me at ESPN, gave me a front row seat to championship weekend to be able to be back in those Final Four huddles, to be able to report those stories was just a dream. And then I think kind of the coolest full circle moment is when I decided to take a step down and away from inside the cross. Alyssa Murray Cometti, she picked up the torch and has carried it since. So it really has just been, I think, a labor of love for this game, and I've been really fortunate to be able to have some cool opportunities present themselves at the right time.
And it's very clear the Block S is nationally and globally well known. How has that reputation kind of opened doors for you, especially its alumni network? Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I mean, the Syracuse Alumni Network is huge. And I think especially in, where Syracuse athletics kind of marries, national media landscape. It's a really cool intersection. So I was afforded an opportunity to really carry out my passion and continue to hone in on the skills that we're developing. And I was really fortunate to have a lot of mentors within the Syracuse network, and alumni family help me get there, support me. I would say like coach me in certain aspects, and yeah, I mean, I think it's huge. My husband's a Syracuse alum. I think he would agree that leaning on the Syracuse network has helped him exponentially. I think what's really neat too, there is this pride and this camaraderie that comes along with being a Syracuse grad. Whether you played a sport at Syracuse or not, we're so passionate about our basketball, our football, our women's lacrosse, men's soccer, women's basketball. I mean, there was a year where I think like I I, I let my daughter stay up way past her bedtime watching the men's soccer team and their national championship hunt. And just to see my 3-year-old who, had no idea what was going on in the game, just, be cheering, let's go Syracuse. It's just, yeah, I mean, the Block S it is what it is. We're really lucky to be part of a really special family.
Now you're coaching and mentoring as the co-founder of Triple Threat Lacrosse. How do you think the culture of both the athletics here at Syracuse and just the university as a whole has kind of influenced you to lead and teach, and also run a business?
Yeah, I mean, I think, the biggest thing for me, I love this sport. And I keep going back to it. I'm so passionate about this game. I'm so grateful for all it's given me. And I'm really lucky that I've been able to make a career out of this game. I think, and especially just in recent days, reflecting as I head up to Syracuse for this event, I was really, really fortunate to just work alongside passionate teammates and learn under some of the brightest coaching minds in this sport who were so passionate about this game, but not only this game, their job. They were passionate about being a women's lacrosse coach. When I got into the coaching world, taking those lessons learned from Coach Miller, Coach Gate, Coach Badalino, Coach Cook, Coach Thorpe, taking it all and then making it uniquely mine at the same time has been incredibly rewarding. I always say like I know exactly why I coach because I love, creating those relationships and bonds and sharing the game that has given me so much to young girls and young women. And I have a pretty baller business partner. She's amazing. She played at Villanova, old Big East foes. And she's been an amazing mentor, friend in my life. And we always tell our girls in our triple threat program, it's a really full circle relationship. You come here, you play with heart. You work as hard as you can, you cheer each other on, and you always support one another's success. And then you come back and you give back and you inspire the next generation. So we've been so blessed to have the support we've had by local families here in Fairfield County. It's really, we've been in business long enough to where we've been able to see so many of our players go on and achieve really special things collegiately and post-collegiately. I find myself, Kira and I, when we turn on a game on a Friday night or Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, we flip on our ESPN app, we can always see one of our girls playing. When I watch them play Syracuse, sometimes my heart gets pulled in different directions, but we have a lot of girls in the Syracuse team. But yeah, I think it's just, I say this sport, I've said it again, I sound like a broken record. It's the gift that keeps on giving. I love what I do. And I get to watch my players, set goals and chase their dreams, and it's really rewarding.
Taking back to triple threat lacrosse a bit, you talk about how you have so many athletes who play collegiately. There are so many people who play the sport of lacrosse, but only a small percentage of them make it to the collegiate level. Is there something specific, a little secret in your program that you're doing that gets so many of your athletes to that level?
It's I would say, we have players that ultimately decide this isn't for them and they don't play. So I'm not saying that all of our girls do play in college. A large majority do. I would say the passion's there, the work ethic is there. Lacrosse is at a really exciting place where I say this, I think that it's still at a place where if you work hard, you're passionate, you have the right mindset, you're kind to yourself first and foremost. But if you work hard in the classroom and on the field, an opportunity is there for you to play in college, whether it's at the Division 1, 2, or 3 level. For young players today to have the accessibility to this sport, I'm aging myself. Like apps didn't exist when I was in high school. So you couldn't just flip on the ESPN app on the TV. I think maybe as a small handful, maybe just championship weekend games were broadcasted. Like you literally just had to find a ride and go to a college game, and that's the only way that you can really see, your dreams in action, so to speak. This game has never been in a better place in terms of its visibility and its accessibility. And I think that that has a huge piece to do with it too.
Being honored as a letter winner of distinction is a tremendous honor. What does this mean to you personally to be recognized by the university in this way?
It's a dream. I'm humbled. I think when I when I first found out, I was kind of like, I don't think I'm distinguished. I'm kind of, I feel like, especially when I saw who I'm being honored alongside, I was just like, whoa, have a little bit of imposter syndrome. I'm just, I'm blown away. I think I'm humbled, I'm honored. I'm so grateful, to be honored by a university and a program that I'm just so proud to be an alum of. It's a dream, and I'm really, really grateful. I'm grateful for everything.
What is the most electric moment you remember from competing in the dome?
So, well, my sophomore year, we went to our first Final Four, and it was so special. It was, we were a young team. We just had the right leadership. It was Gary's first year, and we played North Carolina in the dome, and it was a battle. I don't remember the score. Really, the only goal I remember was like Liz Hogan cleared the ball and it had this weird bounce and it bounced right in the stick of Jackie DePetris. And it was either like a one on none or they pulled their goalie, but she scored at the end of that game. And I just remember, I don't think it was a 1 goal game. It might have been a 2 goal game, but it was kind of the goal we knew that like we're going to win this and we're going to the Final Four. And we all just like celebrated so much. And that was, it was probably one of the most historic wins for our program. And I just remember just like the sheer like joy of that moment and that game. And Jackie just had like, she just had the most like genuine celebration ever after whether she scored or most importantly, usually it was like the teammate scored. So the fact that it was her, I just like remember that look on my face.
Do you have any funny stories or like a favorite story of your time on campus during the snow?
We had the worst bus ride down to UVA and back. I think people caught like the worst flu ever. It was just like it all started. We were all supposed to fly out, and then our flights got canceled, and like we were still going to UVA. But when you think back, you're just like, how did I really think that bus driver, it was a saint for driving us down. Like we departed in a blizzard, and I remember I was on South Campus and I couldn't get my car, like I couldn't drive down. Like it was physically just impossible. So we had those like rolly bags that our sticks were in and all of our stuff. And like all of us in South Campus like leave our apartments and we're like, I guess we're doing this. Like we're rolling. So we're all like rolling our bags through the snow. We're not talking like a small snowstorm. Like this was like waist high. And we're rolling our bags to this bus. This bus driver miraculously gets us to Virginia. I think it took like 13 or 14 hours. Like we were, I think, the only car on the road for hours. And we made it down. We ended up losing that game, which was a bummer. But and then on the way back, it was just one of those moments though where we're like, only in Syracuse would we still be going? Would we still be forging on? None of us could get our cars out, so we're just like walking down from South Campus. I don't know how the freshmen got down there from the Mount, but it was just like uniquely Syracuse. I'll always remember that weekend, and Liz Hogan fondly remember that weekend as well.
Complete this sentence. Syracuse lacrosse gave me
Everything.
fantastic answer, truly. Halley, it's been a pleasure getting to know you and learning more about your story. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Courtney.